Welcome to another Grey Hack video. In the last video we checked out a player-made cryptocurrency, and after that video I have gotten several requests that you guys wanted me to review more player creations. And one of the most requested player creations was Plasma, which is this script right here. Plasma is a hacking tool created by Nix. So in this video we're going to check out Plasma together and perhaps see how it works, learn a few things, hopefully. I have not used Plasma myself previously, but before this video I've done some testing, so I will be able to at least know some of the features that we will be looking at. Before we start, I just wanted to mention that the game has gotten a update, maybe a somewhat big update, where the networking was changed. So let's just show that. Previously there was a script called scanlog. That script no longer exists. Instead, there is now a new program, exe, which is called scanlog.exe, and it looks like this. So with this update, the networks became much more complex and much bigger. So in order to better understand and show how these networks work and what they look like, this new program was added to the game, and as you can see, the new networks can be very huge, and there are also several kinds of devices on here. We have routers, we have computers, we have hubs, we have switches. There's a switch, and we will go into more depth about what all these things are and how to use them in this video and in future videos. But I just wanted to show this off. Now when you're hacking, so the easiest thing is usually to get onto the main router, but then connected to the main router are more routers, which you might have to, so like you first have to hack onto the main router. These colors here are indicating the subnet of the main router, so all these 192.168.0.1.2.3.4.5, they all belong to the same subnet. So what you will have to do is you will have to hack your way deeper into the network, depending on how difficult the mission is, or maybe you're doing it for some other purpose, maybe hacking players or protecting yourself from players, who knows. We will look more at this later, and perhaps also in this video. Okay, back to Plasma. So I think we will start by showing how to get it. You can just search for BTC, and the first link, at least at the moment, which says Plasma, is where you can download it. It costs 60 bitcoins, so you will also need to register an account on the Bitcoin website and mine 60 bitcoins before you can purchase Plasma. So I already showed the Bitcoin currency in the last video, so you can watch that if you get stuck. But what you would do is just go into downloads and grab the BTC script and then run that, register, and then start mining. You can also find Plasma in the BTC shop. So these two will get your Plasma easily. You can also get the IP for Plasma in here. Just copy that and buy now. Buy the Plasma buy script and the Plasma Buy script will charge you 60 bitcoins to download the full tool. Yep, that's pretty much that. And then the B2C shop, which I showed in the previous video as well. I'm just going to one shop, 0 tools, and then at the top you will find Plasma right here, plus 1 Bitcoin here. You get it for free on the website. I also uploaded shellweb and decipher to the shop, so these are my tools that I've showed how to make in previous videos and also used in several of my videos. So if you want to get these tools but don't want to use the tutorials, you can just download them here and give me some bitcoins if you want. Yep, that's about it. Let's just close this. So let's start Plasma. This is what the main page looks like. So this is the creator. Yeah. What's nice about Plasma is that the help menu is sectioned off in different parts of the script. So in this part of the script you can use these commands, and the explanation for what these commands do is, you know, right beside. And what's nice about that is that there's not one huge help file or help text help menu. Instead, you can view the help commands when you need them in the different sections of the script, because it's a rather big script, so that's user-friendly touch. But there's also like it's a big script. There are a bunch of different tools and functions and commands, so it can be perhaps a bit confusing to use, and you might also need to know what you're doing when you use it. It's not going to do everything for you, so in that regard it might be less user-friendly to new players, but it also gives you more options. So if you know what you're doing, it can be a great tool. Yeah, I think we are going to complete a mission, and that way we're going to show what the how the tool works. So let's just do a credentials needed. Open the mail. And this might be a bit more tricky because the LAN IP on this network is 10.0.14.3, which is usually not the main router. So we might have to dig a bit deeper into the system. Okay, now what you do is you just put you can see a target domain, just put that into the user input, and yeah, this network looks horrifying. Since I don't know if I want to do something this difficult in this video, because it's going to take a long time, and I have a feeling this video is going to be long enough as it is. Let's just compare the nmap. I think a good way. Oh, that's not what I want to do. That's not what I want to do. This is what I want to do. I think a good way of like showing off the tool is perhaps also to show it off against another tool. So I'm just going to show it against my own tool, and we can see if there are any similarities and differences. Yeah, we're not gonna bother with this mission. Well, I mean, we could router hack, but it's still gonna be tricky. Let's not. New mission. Just the mail bug. I think you just do exit to go back into main, and then you can pick a new IP. What is it? Why are these missions so disgusting? 109, 172. If we don't get anything better, I guess we'll have to do one of them, but I wanted to show off something a bit simpler in this first exploration of plasma. This looks better. This is the probably the main router, most definitely. Let's do exit again. And just put much better. Okay, this shows off the nmap that plasma has better as well. So we'll just compare that to see if it's got all the same addresses. It looks good. 23, 24, 14, and 8. Now one difference that you might notice, which might be a bit confusing actually, is that plasma shows the port forwards in the nmap, so all like on their main router. So this makes it look like the main router has port 21, 25, and 22 open, but it doesn't. So as you can see here, the main router has port 88 open and no other port, well, except for port 0. That's a nice touch in Plasma, that it shows port 0 as well. Most tools don't. So that will help new players who perhaps don't know that port 0 exists and that they can target that port. Yeah, but as you can see here, the main router, this one right here, has port 88 open, and these ports that also are on the 0.1 are actually these ports right here. And since they're port forwarded, they're being shown in here as well, but they're actually not ports in the router. But that's no biggie. The information is the same. You can see that if it's port forwarded, or if it's open or closed. And I think I like this layout. It's perhaps even simpler to understand than my routed, closed, open, ported. I have different names for the different combinations. So we are supposed to hack this computer right here, which is great because it has 21, 25, and 22 open. So if we just type help, you can see all the remote commands that can be used. And the one we are interested in is the hack one. Hack and then spec which port. And again, this is where you would put port 0 in case you want to target the kernel router. So let's try the SMTP, for example. Just type hack 25. Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4. We can just check the exploits while we wait. See what's on here. I guess I slowed it down now. Maybe I should say some more about this. So there is now an icon that shows which of the computers on the scanlan. If you start the scanlan on your own network, then you can see which computer is yours. There's also a terminal icon that can be shown if you are on perhaps hacking another server or another network. You can see which of the computers that you are running the shell or the terminal on. See here. Okay, so we got a guest computer object. Since it's a credentials needed, we don't really need much probably, but let's try to get a shell because I think that will show off the most features in Plasma. Let's not pick the computer object. Oh, we got a guest shell. Let's see here what we have here. I think a guest shell will do nicely. Yeah, let's do a guest shell. And now we have a shell on this computer, and we have a bunch of different commands that we can play around with. One of the commands I like is the show all. That will just give us a fast overview of the entire network. I mean the entire file system. I don't remember what the mission was. Client wants the login credentials of any user. Client prefers to delete them. Okay. So this is a very simple mission. That's great. We cannot read the password file as the guest. Let's go back into help. Now there might be several ways of doing this, as you can see up here. Plasma doesn't have permissions to read the password file, so whenever it tries a exploit or gets an exploit, it tries to read the password file, and if it manages to read it, it will print out the content of the password file. So if we had gone through more of these, it was SMTP, right? We got guess. Okay, maybe not. But if we had like targeted the FTP, we would have gotten a root computer. And then we can use the root computer to read the, or the platform would have used the root computer to read the password file and just print out the content, and then we could have deciphered it and had full access straight away. Actually, we don't even need to go into the system if Plasma prints the password that we need for the mission. But we're going to show off another feature instead of using the computer object, and that is the bounce command, which is a nice one. So you can upload Plasma onto the system, and then use Plasma for local escalation. And let's see if we can find some good place to put it. Usually the guest folder is good. It looks good, right? So let's try to put it in the guest folder. Bounce -home-guest. Now, I don't think there is any way of showing what I have here in Plasma. So what you would have had to do is you would have to go through all of these exploits and then try perhaps the SSH the FTP until you found one that either gave root or user permissions, because I think you could read as user. The password file was only protected from the guest. No biggie, but something to keep in mind, since I already knew what to look for here, and we're not even using this method, of course. Okay, so Plasma has been uploaded to the target, and now we can, let's see here, let's get out again. I don't know if we can go, I actually don't think, I think we have to use this command up here now. We have to use shell, which will start the terminal, then we have to start Plasma again. Let's do shell, and then run Plasma. And now, if we go into help, we can see that there is a local command that we can use to attack the computer that we are now on. And then we can use hack to attack the local libraries. So to hack, and we already know that there is a root computer in the libftp, so that would be a good place to start. libftp.so. Sure, why not? And now it's going to hopefully find, I don't know what this password change was for. Maybe it's the root password change, who knows. Regardless, yeah, here we go. So here's the root computer object. And let's start the computer handler. Yes. So in here we have more commands. Many of them are shared between the shell handler and the file handler. So I think you can just like do ls etc, and then you can just do cat etc password. Yep. And then there's a decipher, so you can either decipher the path or copy the hash. I don't know what happens if you would decipher all three of them. Maybe we can try decipher -etc password, and it's deciphering. So as you can see, my script grabbed the same password for the root password. So we have the root password, and we are now getting all the users, and that's pretty much what you needed to do to get the, oh yeah, that's my password right there, my password injection. it didn't even bother if we cleared our logs or not. So, okay, what we will do now is we will, let's see here again. I think we have to go exit. Okay, so it asks you, that's very nice. So yes, we want to clear the logs. Okay, it's crashed. But it looks like it erased it, so I hope we can just yeah. Let's just run plasma again. We are not root anymore. Yeah. I think if you run local help, then you can have clear log and D to remove plasma from the system. I don't know if that's going to work if we are plasma deleted but no permissions to remove the log, maybe. Okay. I mean, it's fine, I guess. It leaves the meta exploit in decrypted.so. So I guess we can just exit the system. And I can remove them from here. I mean, it's an NPC server, so leaving a trace like this is perhaps not a big deal. I can see why you just leave the crypto and meta exploit on the servers when you are done. And then we are done with that mission. And we'll just reply with the root credentials. Client is satisfied with the job. So that's a simple mission, and how you complete it with Plasma. There were more advanced missions at the start, which would have taken a lot longer to complete. And I'm also not that familiar with Plasma, so yeah, I don't know how that would have gone. But as you can see, we can use it to hack onto the, well, pretty much most port types, even the port 0. And it has a computer handler, file handler. Let's see if we can find start. Yeah, so you can like hack into port 0, hack into all the other ports. And then once you got shell, you can upload the tool itself onto the server and use local escalation on the server with the local libraries to gain full access. Yeah, as you saw, we could get the password with Plasma quite easily that way. I think that's a good overview of the program, and I think we will leave more of the information about how the networks change and how you can like hack deeper into them for the future videos. It's probably better to like do it when it's actually happening, when we need it. But one other thing that I forgot to mention, a few of the ways of like the hacking or methods of hacking have changed slightly. So now there are, for example, as you can see, port where did they go? Port 8080 is now closed. So previously you could hack port 8080 from outside the network, but that's no longer possible. So like some things have been like nerfed or removed, and other things have been opened up. So the hacking has changed a little bit, and I think that makes it more interesting, I guess, but also a bit harder for players who might be used to one way of hacking, and now their methods don't work, and new methods they don't know about are the way forward. So I think that's something that we will have to look at in the future videos as well. At least the basic hacking and how that has changed. The more advanced stuff, it's usually not something I go into too much detail on or about on this channel. I hope you guys liked this overview of Plasma, and I'll see you in the next video.